Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House for the 2023 season. As we continue our build-up to the game against Penrith next Saturday, and with 5 days to go, it is the turn of the breakout star of 2022, Kevin. It's our number 5.
It's Jon Bennison. And Jon Bennison is proudly sponsored by HD Glass Limited.
HD Glass opened during the middle of the pandemic in 2021. I've gone from strength to strength. Since then, they are able to produce a range of decorative glass, from LED designs to beveled units, Georgian bar designs and etched glass. They offer a bespoke service to all their customers and offer to design glass from scratch if you're not quite sure it is what you want, or you want something that is a little bit unique.
Good local company. Good local lads who run it. I know. In fact, I used to play football against both of them back in the day. Good lads.
No, I should have said LED designs or lead designs.
Go with LED.
And they can also offer a same-day service for emergency units. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Sutton Road, St Helens, if you need to get in touch with them. Now, Kevin, Mr. Bennison. Proof that hard work has its rewards.
Yes. We heard a couple of times from Christian Wolf last year at various forums and events about how Jon kind of kept working very hard in training, and they bring lads in to kind of train with the first team. And he was hitting all metrics, and he was hitting everything he wanted to do and doing a little bit more as well, and pushing himself and making himself kind of indispensable to that training group. And eventually, he just made himself have to be picked for the team. And that is down to the correct attitude and the correct application. And it's a big thing for such a young man to kind of spot that and do it and execute it as well as he has done. And you know what? Last season, he wasn't out of place. I think there was a couple of times when he came into the first team, and you're always nervous when a young lad makes his appearance, his debut and his early appearances. But even if he did make a mistake, he rectified it pretty much straight away. He didn't look like the nerves had got to him. He just kind of went, right, okay, that's out of the way. That's in the past. Let's move forward. Let's see what I can do moving forward. And it was all culminated with a performance in the grand final that, you know what, you'd have thought that he played 100 and odd games for Saints rather than a handful.
It obviously took the injury for Regan Grace for him to get his opportunity. I don't think he'll finish up as a winger, though. I think naturally he'll probably end up playing fullback. That fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. I think, listen, for now, playing wherever you can in the first team as a young lad is great. Jack Wellesby did it where he'd come in and he'd dip in. You look back in the careers of Paul Helens, who probably did the same. You come in, you play a bit of wing, might play a bit of centre, might play a bit of fullback, and switch about positions and get your feel for the first team environment. I think he's well on his way to doing that anyway. But yeah, I can see more as a fullback rather than a winger. Eventually.
Is it fair to say that he's going to find it tougher this season in terms of competition? If everybody can stay fit, I think we've seen from Wello's team selection against Penrith and probably going forward into this weekend. Against St George and going forward this weekend into Penrith, that Will Hopewati started on the wing. And then obviously you've got T. Ritson, who's a natural, lightning quick winger who can finish. So we've spoke quite a few times when we talked about players having it's their shirt to lose, and Jon's been rewarded with the number 5 shirt this season. But you get the impression that it's going to be a lot tougher to hold on to that.
Yeah, possibly so. I think because we were so decimated with injuries last year, was the anyone really pushing that back line who you thought should be in it consistently. Because if they were in it, it was because they were a fit body, because we were struggling. If everybody stays fit, then it's tough for anybody in that in the three quarters. Because you think about Will Hopoate playing on the wing. As you say, listen, we've said he's a Rolls-Royce player. We've said how good he looks. But if you want speed in that team, you put T. Ritz in him. As we say, it's Connie's shirt to lose for me in the centres. As long as Will and Mark Percival stay fit, and I know we'll talk about them in the coming days, then yeah, it will be tougher for Jon Bennison. But it's a task that he's up to. Listen, he might not have the pace of T. Ritz, and he might not have the experience of Will Hopoate, but he's got the drive and the work ethic, which has seen him given that number 5 shirt. And there's a reason, because we could have left that free. We didn't have to give that number 5 shirt to anybody. There's no need to. We could have left it for T. Ritson. We could have put someone else in it, shifted the numbers around a little bit more, give Jon Bennison, I don't know, like number 15 or 16, 17 maybe, something like that. So listen, the kid knows it's going to be tough. He knows that. But listen, he's just got to make himself undroppable again. And that's what he was doing last season.
Listen, that's what comes with playing for the champions.
Yeah.
You have to be the person who can't be left out. And listen, it's a really good situation for us as a club to be in. That if Jon Bennison gets his shirt, you hope it's because he's outperforming Will Hopoate or T. Ritson.
It is. It's because he's outperforming them. You'd imagine, like, yeah, there might be injury problems, there might be suspensions, there might be stuff like that, but he'll be given the shirt because he's the one in training making himself undroppable.
Did you see him getting games at fullback again this year, though, as well?
Yes, yeah. We spoke when we did Lewis Dodd about rotating people and making sure that you're not putting people through massive workloads. If Johnny Lomax doesn't have to play some games, then you move Jack Wellesby into the halves. You move John to fullback, and that's where he gets a bit of game time there. I definitely can. It might be a case of we get back from this trip to Australia and he plays against Cass at fullback, because you turn around and you say, well, you know what, John, we're going to put Jack into the halves. A couple of the, I say older players, they're still miles younger than me, but a couple of the older professionals get a week off to rest and recuperate. But we've got the likes of Jon Bennison to drop in, and how good's that? How good's that you can move Jack Wellesby into the halves if you need to, and have Jon Bennison, a hard-working fullback, who you look at and you think, yeah, I'm all right with him playing there. I'm not worried about Jon Bennison playing there because he's a first-team player. He's got the attitude and the ability of a first-team player. But as you say, the steps that now, we always say about the person behind and the person in front of you, he's got to keep on making them steps up. And he's a young lad, so he's got time to do that. He's got to make sure that he keeps going with the squad. And I'll put that to everybody needs to do that to stay in with the champion team. But he's a young lad, so he's got bags of time to do that.
Correct. That's number 5, done and dusted.
Yep. Good stuff.
Counting these on one hand now, Kev. Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And we'll be back with another important player tomorrow on Red VTV. Catch you soon.